Now, the last thing that I want you to do is that if you see what we have here, right now, you can see that we have data for say from January, right, from January all the way to December. Okay, from January all the way to December. Now, if we want to do say grand total, right, which means that we have to sum across these rows, right, all the way to December, right, and then do the same thing for the next and for the next. It's actually going to be difficult. Okay, we are not just going to sum only say the first one, right, say January, February, March, and then I mean that would be okay, but we have to do it for all of them. So this is just for say a period of 1 year. So imagine if we have like 5 years data, that would be very difficult to do, right, if you want to do this kind of grand total calculations, right? There's one way that we can even make it more interesting to do, right, and that is turning these ones that are in row, okay, turning the preferred columns, the columns that you want to later on find those grand totals, turning them from column form to row, okay, so that you'll be able to easily sum them up. Okay, now let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so let's go to let's say from January, okay, from January to, let's go, so I'm pressing the shift key, right, press and hold the shift key, and then you use the right button, right, and then you keep on pressing it. So you see that I was just, if I keep on pressing it left, it's going to deselect everything. Okay, so if I want to select from January to December, I first click on January, then I hold down the shift key, then I press the right button, then it will keep on doing it, right, until it reaches December. Then I know I'm done. Okay, now this action that we're gonna do is called pivot. Okay, and surprisingly we even have a button for that. So you go to transform, and then if you go to transform, you see that we have pivot columns. Okay, we have a button for that. Now if I click on that, see what is going to happen to what is here. Okay, as soon as I click on this pivot button, see what is going to happen. Right, so I'm just going to click it. Boom, magic. Right, now you see what has happened. Now instead of the January to February summing up all the way from January like that all the way to December, now see that we only have two columns. Okay, the attribute and value. Okay, just like that. So now if I want to find the grand total, I just sum just this column and I'm done. Okay, instead of summing all those number of rows that it was earlier on, if I undo it, I just do this. You can just click on this, then it will come back. Now see how earlier it was January, February, March, like that was here. So if I want to find the grand total, that would be very difficult. I first need to find the total across here, then find the total across here, and something like that. Okay, for all of them. So all the number of rows, I need to do it, I mean, as many rows that you have. Okay, as many rows that you have, and then as many columns. But once we do this, okay, once I select, right, let me go here and then do it again, shift, and then you hold the shift key, you press the right button like that. Okay, and then you go to transform, you go to pivot. Okay, and whatever step that I'm doing is being recorded. Okay, whatever step is there. So now see that it has just transformed to just two columns. Okay, attribute and then value. So maybe this one I can rename it. Okay, I can just right click, and then I'll go down here to rename, then I'll call it month or months, something like that. Okay, that's it. See that it has changed, and then here I'll call it maybe something like budget amount. Okay, so maybe something like budget amount. Okay, something like that. All right, then I just press enter and I'm done. Okay, so now you see how simple it is, right? How simple it is. Now here you can see that these are date, right? But Power BI is not recognizing it as date. That's why it's aligned left. Okay, so I wanted to Power BI to recognize these things as date. So I'm just gonna click on this ABC, right? You see that we have the ABC here. I'm just gonna click on that ABC, and then I'm just gonna click on date. As soon as I do that, now see how it has formatted nicely for us. Okay, nicely. Now it is going to recognize it as date, and the action has been recorded. Okay, the action is recorded over here. Okay, now this is very interesting, right? We've been able to do quite a lot of cleaning over here, right? The next thing that I want you to do is to go to home, and then you're going to go to close and then apply, so that whatever changes that you have done so far is going to be effective. Okay, into the main Power BI window. Remember that this was just a pop-up window that came, okay, which we refer to as the Power query editor. Okay, so this is the query editor. So you're going to go back to the Power BI desktop itself. Okay, so let's go back. But before we go, make sure you click on close and apply. Okay, so that whatever that you have done here is going to be effective. Okay, so that's it. Once I do that, everything is effective now, right? If you see this message, you can just click on apply, but they're actually going to do it for you automatically. Okay, now you see that that message is even gone, right? It's just going to do it automatically for you. So now we've been able to format correctly this budget table, right? If we go to the tables and then now if I go to budget, right, you see how it has formatted, right? Everything has been formatted. See the month and then the budget amount that we did, right? Everything is formatted. We don't have any missing values or any empty headers and stuff like that. The column names are nicely displayed. Okay, this is how you clean data in Power BI. You load your data, then instead of just connect, you click on transform data, and then you get to the mechanic shop over there, and then you go and work on your data. Once your data is ready, you bring it back here. Okay, just click on close and apply, and that's it. You're done. Okay.